Hi, everyone. I am asking for black, brown, and white TP people to protest against the community builders and Peabody Properties. If y'all have heard my stories, you can see it on YouTube and you can follow them. The first video I did, I'm wearing an afro and its title is My Story. I never got a chance to tell you the incident with the severity of how they used the police department. But maybe some things need to come out when everything is in the wash. But the abuse that I've been under diagnosed me with panic attacks, anxiety. See, they used to put notices underneath my door every month for over a year and a half. And every month there was a notice to quit. Never a court date, just a notice to quit. Sometimes they harass me when they see me for demand of payment. You know, they want their money. Come to find out. See, I keep a ledger and I kept all my money order receipts. So they falsified my amount that I'm supposed to pay. They were undercharging Boston Housing Authority and overcharging me. I list a lot of the incidents that they did and that they are doing. And this is the worst. For 13 years, this is the worst racial discrimination that's cost me 5 toes on my right foot. Now I can't even get to the medicine that they have. I forgot when I went to the courthouse yesterday because they denied me my medicine that's in the apartment because of fire. And I was on the verge of having a stroke. Oh, I took it off. And they had to put some emergency medicine in me when I went to the hospital. When I went to the court yesterday, because they're up to their old schemes again, I wish y'all would pay attention to those stories if you haven't had to. It's really depressing to talk about. It's very emotional to have to relive the incidents every time you talk about. But if you got any kind of housing authority and you lease to these people, you need to tell them you don't want to be put in a place under any kind of management where they don't want black people or and certain brown people in their building. I don't know how the United States federal government is giving them contracts to build these buildings. Because I have addressed the Department of Justice. I don't get any response. And I said they're a total Latino company. I've been here 13 years and never seen anyone that wasn't Latino maintenance working here. No Asian, no people from India. They only hire Latinos and a lot of them don't even speak English. Okay. And then this judge that I'm going to go see, she's usually the same judge. Situation here is so bad that the mayor's involved, the governor's involved, the legislators involved, because they have a right to privacy law here. And our governor has put a block on police accountability, so it's fucked up here. But to allow these places to get government-funded money and to cause this much hatred because they don't want your kind in here, and they're building up this area to look like another Copley Square. Not only that, Mayor Wu, now I've heard a lot talk about Franklin Park. I've seen a video where the police said they couldn't come up in no more. I'm will soon be 68, God's willing. I went to Franklin Park when I was a little kid, as long as it's been in Massachusetts. It has a zoo, it has a golf course, it has a lot of picnic areas, it has a couple of areas where they have little playgrounds. It's a huge park. It's a state park. And Mayor Wu wants to turn that into an all-women's soccer team. So she tore down White Stadium, which most of the black kids and brown-skinned kids, our high schools don't have football fields. There's only one here that does. So now the kids don't have no place to play football. And our area that we live in can't handle that kind of traffic. I already told you she was erasing us in our area. So the police are now telling people that we can't no longer be up in Franklin Park. Now we have an event that comes up the last Saturday of June. That's anybody that's moved out of Boston. If you want to get reacquainted, you come and travel to Boston. Or if you're living here, you go to Franklin Park. This has been going on for years. It's a chance for you to reacquaint with your friends and relatives and people you ain't seen in a while. Now the police are saying we can't come up in there. This is serious here in Boston. These racist Democrats that are all for brown-skinned people are allowing them, even with the housing court. Now, every time I've gone, I've had the same judge. And they violated, I had to take them to court because they wouldn't exterminate my apartment before a manifestation that somehow disappeared. And I got the modern pest control guy on video saying he's a mandated reporter and he has to report it. It was never mandated reported. That tells you what power is going on in here. Now, Mike Urban posted a video that they found that there's $6 million that's been paid out in hush-hush money. And I can't accuse anybody anything, but anytime a policeman, Detective Becker, and they assaulted me with my door, never talked to me, never talked to the witness that saw the assault, get to name his own charge without even talking to me. Said he charged them with assault and battery with a deadly weapon, my door, which got thrown out. So I never got justice in court. And this is why I can't get justice in court in housing either, is because they were supposed to give me a reasonable accommodation. Back in 2020. So they didn't do the Green Beetle, so I had to go to court. Same judge now. She gave him a court order. Matter of fact, she reminded them that they were supposed to do this and it was entered in the court. But they're exempt. But yet they're trying to take me to court on a little technicality because I got zero balance rent. I thought the court costs get paid to the court. And I Googled it. And it said landlords can't collect court fees costs. But they are using that because I had a fire in my kitchen. Every time it's costing them money, and the outsider has to come in. They petition every time to have me evicted. I've been here 13 years. Police has never been to my apartment for any disturbance. I'm not a delinquent rent payer. My rent's up to date. Never had a disturbance with any neighbor. I'm an undesirable because they don't want my kind in this building. And every time they came at me, they lost. And the most severe thing is they cost me 5 toes. And it's been documented that my doctor said he can't control my diabetes or my health because of this condition that I'm living in for the harassment of Peabody Properties. So they fired Peabody Properties, and I was ready to walk out of here. I couldn't take it anymore. And they begged me to stay so they could have a chance to treat me like a human being. They lied, and I'm believing now, they knew I could have went after them, because anytime you hire someone, you're liable for the people that you hire. So they were suckering me up. Oh, Miss McLeod, yeah, and they gave my animals, my cats, a self-cleaning thing, only to come find out when I had one of their appliances wasn't working. Then I had to call Mass 1010 to get a housing inspector out here. And that was one of the cases with the green beetles, because they lied to the health department and said they didn't have them. They called me back and they said, Miss McLeod, you better take some videos. So I have videos of the bugs in one of my videos as well. I mean, how do you get inside of a taco box that's sealed? It's never been opened, and the wrapping that's in it, the plastic, it was full of them. Then because I had to take them to court, and I won on a Thursday, and that Monday, so there's one day, because then this weekend, the constable was at my door with an eviction notice. And they never told management the instructions the judge ordered them to do, to do the extermination and the prep for it, and when she wanted me back. Now, that's the retaliation. This is what they've been doing all the time. The threatening letters. I've been under the Adult Protection Agency, but now I'm going to have to go back under them and say, look, I told y'all they keep doing this. How many times I got to come back to y'all and say, look, they added it again. But every time it gets to a certain point, there's the people on the top. That's this legislator, that's the mayor, and that's the governor. That's blocking, and now it's the courthouse. I guess I had to hit all of them, and I'm believing and having faith in God that this is the final step out of 13 years, because now this led to a judge. Now, don't get me wrong. A judge court order, when she orders you something, isn't that the law? And they're supposed to uphold it. And if they don't follow that guidelines on that letter, even when they say all parties, they say including attorneys, but all parties, they never have to show up. Therefore, the people that are making the accusations and doing things on fabrication, they wouldn't even let me give me their last name so I could file a restraining order. And also, someone saying and lying and then using the court system because the judge is in their pocket. She told me that she ruled in my favor this time, and I should be appreciative. You know, she's giving me basically, I don't know her direct words, but I'm giving you this time. That didn't dawn on me. So when I took them, they only exterminated 3 times in 4-month period, and they're supposed to come every other Wednesday. Because I'm recording this on my YouTube, because they're always lying, they never was showing up. Matter of fact, there's a video where the exterminator said, now they told the judge they could do this. They said, he showed me, he said, ma'am, they never scheduled me to come in here every Wednesday. Because I asked him, why are you missing and only come in once a month? He said, because they never scheduled me like that. So they constantly violate the judge's court order. And then she said, I have the rights. She told them I have the rights to live like everybody else. You know, that whole saying, but I've been denied that. So this past January, we went to court. Now, there's 2 court violations. The one from 10/20, the one that she put in last year about the green beetles and how it's supposed to be done, they violated that order. So I took them to court to inform them that they violated the judge's court order. I had a kitchen fire. Now, I just got this letter yesterday. I had to go down to the courthouse. The first time I got it, it was in my mail, but they supposed to replace it in my mailbox key. And I know it's a federal offense to tie up somebody's mail and not replace that key. Everybody has to have access to their mail. So that letter was sitting in my box, but it didn't have a court date on it. So the night before yesterday, when I woke up yesterday morning, they're not supposed to put notes underneath my door either, because that was part of a trigger for my panic attacks. But they're overcharging me rent for over a year and undercharging BHA, and that's the threat. But hey, let's move on. But this one had a court date on it. Now I just got it yesterday. How in the fuck am I going to court on the 26th of May? Boom, just like that. Boom, just like that. Now, it's always the same judge. When I went to tell my story, she wouldn't let me enter in any defense at all, and they don't provide you with a lawyer here. The only lawyers they have in emergency evictions. And if these companies are doing this, every case needs to be opened up. I don't know why I took on this assignment, and I talked to God because he's the only one I had to pray with over this. And I came to the decision that this can't happen. You can't run people out into the street just because you don't want them in there. So this judge, nobody showed up. This is everything. Everybody has to be there. Okay. How can I question or fight somebody that's not there in the courtroom? That's not fair. The attorney's representing them, but I need to have the people there too. If I got to be there, they're supposed to be there. She excuses it every time. The only one that shows up is their lawyers. Nobody from the office. Well, then somebody in the office is doing this and saying this, and Bart Miller or Bart Mitchell, whoever the owner, his name is, I had him and I posted it on my YouTube. Just like when they tried to evict me because of the green buttos, I only owed $700 and some at the time because I was a little behind. But I already went to them and said, look, it's been stressful holiday, plus I had to keep replacing food because of those green beetles. I had to go get freezer bags to put everything in and tighten it up. And to be forced to give me a reason to come, they've been wanting me out of here. Just because I'm black. And they have a picture of who they want renting from them. And if you don't fit that picture, they said the worst on the blacks than they have the Hispanics. So there's certain, I don't know what's going on with them, and I just know they are brown people, and some come from Cuba, some come from Mexico, some come from Puerto Rico, and then you got South America. But I don't import Dominican. We got everybody here. So I don't know what's going on with them, with each other. I can't speak on that because I'm not Latino. If they have racial division among themselves, and I'm just finding out, yeah, they have. The darker Latinos are being racially profiled against the white Latinos, because they said this is what their colonizers. If you were close to being white like they were in Spain, then you had more intelligence and whatever. And if you were darker, you know, you well, y'all know the drill. We ain't got to go into that. It's old news. But I didn't know it was going on with them. So she didn't want me to give any information, and she was very animate, very, you know, and she cut me off. Because I know everything that's said in the courtroom is either the stereotype, where they type it up, or it's recorded now. I haven't got the conclusion of a decision of why she gave them grace in violating the second court order. And she chastised him, but they should have threw that out. And they should have been violated, and I should have been able to present my evidence showing that they weren't following her orders. That's why she wouldn't let me speak. But when we were leaving, when she dismissed us, she called the lawyer back. And I looked at my son and I said, what's that about? So therefore, I put in a request for a different judge because she's not biased. Because I had the fire in this faulty equipment. And they wouldn't let me in my thing. My son asked 3 times to get my medications. I've been without my medications for 7 days. So I had to go to the emergency room day before yesterday. And they gave me an emergency set. They put medicine in me. And then they gave me a 7-day supply. And they said, by that time, we're going to just replace your medicines. All of it, you know. But when I went to the courthouse yesterday and I told them that they wasn't giving me my medication, I said, look, and they wouldn't let me in the apartment, but for $100 they'll let me in. So the court called the lawyers to find out why couldn't she get her medication. So they lied again. She came out, they said, yes, you could have went in your apartment. They would have went in the apartment. And it's free. And my son told him, he said, we asked. And they said that she could not go in there to get her medication. She said, but they're saying that you could do it now. He said, we asked 3 times on 3 separate days. And they told her, absolutely not. My blood pressure was 192 plus, and it was high on the bottom, and the EMS, and I got him on the recording. He said, even when we came to the building, he said, we know that they had a fire, but they don't have you on record as anywhere else in the building, so therefore we couldn't find you. I had to call your son to find out where you were in the building because you're not listed anywhere. Ooh, Lord, I'm trying to hold this together. So I had a long talk with God. He's helped me all the way because every weapon they formed against me out of the 13 years has never prospered. And I reminded him that I have as much faith as the mustard seed, that I'm going to prevail on all of this because he's not going to let me get this far to fail me now. So I had to put on my happy face. But they need to be boycotted. I'm calling on everybody. I don't know why they feel like they're above the law, that they don't have to honor even the employment thing. I don't know why there's not a multitude of different ethnic groups working for this company. And I've been here 13 years, and they've all been Latinos. And like I said, a lot of them, you go to ask them something, I don't, no English. Then why are you working here and you got different people that speak different languages and you can only speak Spanish? That's not fair. That's not fair. You gotta have kind of even across the board, don't you think? And so if she's letting them get away with not honoring her orders, she shouldn't be on this case. So I had to do a thing against her. Because if I go in front of her again, if she's not getting them to honor her word under a court order and all parties are present, I don't know why I'm still going to court and dealing with this. So luckily, God's on my side. Greater Boston Legal Services is back in action. They said, don't worry about it. God works quick. They said, didn't this happen last year? Mm-hmm. And you live at, I said, mm-hmm. And your age is, I said, mm-hmm. They said, well, we're the same lawyers and we got that case and you let me know what happens Tuesday. Because it's such a short notice, But there's on call, be there at this time. They will represent you from the day, and whatever they make a decision on that Tuesday, you give us a call. We got you. No one, the judge even told them that I have the rights as every attendant in here to live in a safe environment. You know that saying, and they're in violation of it. But if you give an order and you can't hold up your own orders and hold them accountable. Here's what she did. I tried to bring up the doctor's letter in there. Said, Your Honor, I have a tiny dependent. What's going on? I said, I have been going through this a long time. I have a doctor's letter saying that this place, I did get this in there, it's not safe because the rapid, come here. She said, I cannot accept the letter because the doctor isn't here. But she had in her desk, in her possession, Vermont and Pest Control now, who wasn't there, lying, saying that I know I took them for the court for the green beetles. I've been there 13 years, never had a roaches. They were treating my apartment for roaches. Now that coincides with that letter that they were mad because, see, when they told the judge that they threatened me again, this is what they do. Every time they lose, they come up with a different option. So they lost about the green beetle. They ain't followed the judge's court order, so I'm getting ready to take them to court for the violation of the judge's court order. They sent me a letter saying that they've been honoring every court day. They are there on time, and if they're a couple of minutes late, they said, in this letter now, I'm going to post this letter again. They said I've been running down to screaming, why aren't y'all in my apartment? Y'all supposed to be here at 9 o'clock. But in this letter, they're saying they were there every scheduled appointment, every other Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And they said they were unable to do their work because my apartment is so filthy, so unsanitary. Now, I've been there 13 years. Even the Adult Protection Agency went the minute, I didn't know, because she's a mandated reporter, she had to check things out for herself. First thing she seen when she came to my door, she said, it smells nice in here. And then she said, I love your apartment. Even the police said, when I did the police report of them just running in and out, because they said that's breaking and entering, I can't get the police to act. Everything I've tried to defend myself from these people, it goes no further. And you can't take them to court. They wouldn't even give me their last name to stop this mess, to get a restraining order. So I got 5 toes missing, and I'm trying to save my other toe. Due to the stress, Boston Housing Authority put me on a super priority move. They did this place is unhealthy for me mentally or physically. Yet they supposed to put a team and help me because of the emotional stress I'm under, relocate, move me, set me up in an apartment where I'm going to be safe. Hasn't happened. Age strong, none of it. Anything to keep them from looking bad on paper, including a judge. Now, how is it that Modern Pest Control, she got a letter stating I have roaches, but she won't accept my doctor's letter? They ain't there. Modern Pest Control ain't there. You see how biased she is? She's not even honoring her own court orders. What's the point of putting them on the court order to make it look good on paper on the court? But I haven't got to the conclusion yet. So I'm going to find out when Greater Boston Legal Service in here why this wasn't thrown out. So now that I've had the fire, which is faulty equipment and no extinguisher, all in the hall, and I'm in a wheelchair. So that court thing about the rent that happened because of the green beetles, I satisfied them. I'm that 6 months perfect, no late, whatever, which I was basically that majority of the time anyway. But they want to discredit me. So yeah, I gotta take some knocks, but the truth is the truth. Now, they're charging me, the management company says, well, we're gonna take you to court, get you thrown out. Well, they asked for possession, and this is what the courthouse told me yesterday. They said they're asking for possession and monetary damages. I don't even got the police report, but the last guy I talked to looked at the equipment and showed that it didn't work. He said, yeah, if it had worked, none of this would have happened. So they got a judge in their pocket. That's why you follow the money sometimes. There's no justice in housing here. And every court, every case that this woman has done, and people have gotten evicted, this judge needs to be called out. Because a court order is an enforceable order that these people don't have to follow. And matter of fact, anything that they say, she puts it against me. Ain't this a bitch? Boycott. There's a lot of YTP people out there that said that they're ganging up on our black people and we need to protect them. If you're out there and you're hearing and listening this, call your congressman and ask them, why is the federal government funding this kind of racial discrimination that it's attack on a person's physical and mental? And then we're told nobody should be treated this bad. Nobody should be treated this bad. And all because they can't win. Because I asked God to protect me, no weapon formed against me. So they look for anything to now say, well, let's take her to court. Because she never had a complete zero balance. Because she never paid the court costs. And then I just recently had a lockout. And I had to pay $100 for that. And another thing, between January and now, the little key thing that you scan over it and it lets you in your apartment. Well, I lost that, and they want normally $25, but they put down $75 just to show that I don't have a zero balance. But I just Googled that yesterday, and it says that for a lockout, for lost keys, can be taken out of your security deposit. And I checked Google, and I said, can the landlord attach court fees as part of their rent? They said, no. So they're saying, and they're using that to say I'm not at zero rent, so I'm in violation of the judge's court order, the judge's agreement. I be goddamn, aren't they in violation of the same thing? What makes them special, Judge? I'm going to put your name out here because I'm going to go through my files and pull them letters out I saved. And that nasty, derogatory letter that they accused me of being, that's the description of what a black woman is. Nasty, filthy, unsanitary. I got videotapes when I was when they wasn't even showing up to do the treatment. Because I have a homemaker that comes in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The house is always beautiful, and they always compliment me, anybody come into my home. And we're laughing at the YouTube videos because I'm telling her, well, they ain't here. She doesn't speak, she won't be on camera, but she be smiling, you know. And very pleasant young lady. Oh my God, I miss her. And that's why they wrote that letter. So I took it down to the mayor's office. Only showed it to the mayor's office. And I said, look at this, what they're trying to do. So she introduced me into a Mark Washington at It's an office in the mayor's office, and it's for elderly people, age strong. And she told them, you're going to get her a lawyer, because they were trying to evict me because I took them to court about the Green Beetles. So now I'm taking them to court that they didn't follow the judge's court order. And so they decided to threaten me again. And here, and basically in the letter, you're going to pick up on this, because this is a pattern of theirs. That's why the Adult Protection Agency came in, because you see the stack of lawyer threats and lies. And she wanted to take pictures of them. She even asked me, she said, do you think they're going to come after you again? I said, you're here, aren't you? That's when the mandate reporter came up. She wanted to check me out herself. Nothing but A's, because you don't know when they're coming. Nothing but nice compliment. Everything nice. And she got an idea that this ain't right. So they referred me to Age Strong. They sent a referral requesting, because their budget is limited, that they provide me with an attorney and someone to help me prepare my case. And I went back to them. She said, well, we sent them a referral. She said, well, I'll go ahead and send them another one. No, nothing, nobody. So somebody's either, and I can only assume, getting paid somewhere, or involved in a relationship somewhere where they're looking out. And I'm saying this about this judge because she should not be in that office if she can't even uphold her own court orders. But if I'm going back in front of her Tuesday, y'all already know what's going to happen. But I have as much faith as a mustard seed in Yeshua. He didn't get me this far. But I kept saying, how long, how long, how long? He said, wait a minute, now you got Peabody properties thrown out for racial discrimination. How come they were never charged? They dismissed the case because they said I didn't go after the black manager, but this is the owner I'm filing against. And she's black. How you going to, man, please. If the courthouse is upholding them and allowing them to do this racial discrimination, then they need to investigate the Eastern Housing Court. And any Turk or any of their lawyers to any of those cases need to be reevaluated. And and if this judge's name is on there, your case needs to be reevaluated, and you need to go to Greater Boston Legal Services. So I will get on here and I will tell you what the decision is Tuesday. But they have to pay, and they damaged my stuff. So they're going to have to think, but I'm costing them money again. So now they're going to bring up an old passage that was zero balance for over 6 months. And they're going to make a list saying I was late this month. No, I made sure I was accurate because it had to be accurate for, on time for the first 6 months. But I basically like that anyway. But see, when they can get in there and spew non-truths, she's hearing the lawyer. Where are they people at? Where is the legislators that they could bring in the court to show them lies are lies? None of that. She just making a decision. And modern pest control wasn't there. So now, not only did I have green beetles, now I had roaches in my apartment. Lord have mercy, y'all. I sympathize with you YT people. But y'all need to get in line. We're still going through this mess. And y'all got a lot more to lose than we do. And just to have so little and trying to hold on to it, to fight against racial discrimination. This is an issue for the United States government. Donald Trump, if you're listening, you need to ban any government contracts with the housing authority, federal housing authority, that is allowing this kind of racial discrimination going on. And then you need to come in here and investigate this building and investigate these people, the maintenance company, why they only hire Latino workers. That is against the law. You people have to hire a bunch of people, but they're keeping it all in their kind. That's not the American way. So I'm asking all of y'all to write to the Democrats to find out why they're doing this in Boston. Now, the latest, they're taking away our Franklin Park, and our areas can't handle that. So if they're going to close down the park to the public, are they going to tear people's houses down? Because you're going to need a major highway to get to a street that's only got 2 lanes. And you're going to put a professional women's soccer team in all black and brown neighborhood. That's going to be some shit. And now there's a little vocal thing about, wait a minute, how you going to get the police are here. I seen the video, and they're arguing, no, this is a state park. The city of Boston has no jurisdiction here. But it goes in one ear and out the other when you're out there protesting. So I want all eyes on Massachusetts, because they're worse than Minnesota. And the governor has gotten her playbook from the same person that trained Epstein. So she's in the Epstein files as well. And they said, you know how to control the people? You control the media. That's why I've been saying, I gone to so many news people that in the first when this all started, nobody, not even a racial video would air it, talk about it, the newspaper wouldn't run it. She owns the newspaper. And her rating right now is so low because people are suffering here. And she took the government money and made her, I think she named after the Maury Haley Sanctuary Motels. They get $10,000 a month. They get food stamps. They get permanent housing. No, we can't even get that. And medical, everything. And they get to vote. As long as you got a resident, you don't need an ID. I don't know how they're doing it, but that was part of their plan. Even Mike Urban said that. He said they figure if they can get enough people in here to represent Democrats, that they can keep their jobs and stay in office. We have no more black businesses here. They took everything away from us. And these people that we have to come in here now and rent from don't want us here. What are we going to do? That's what I'm saying. We understand your tears, you YTP people. But you got to get in line. And if y'all are serious about aiding the attack that's on us, write to your governors, your Congress people, and the Department of Justice, because this is racism, and call these 2 companies out on it, the Community Builders and Peabody Properties. And if you're in them, if you're experiencing anything like this, start talking about this company and what your experience is, because we got to stop this. They can no longer be that bold to say that they can make up a lie, that they give a description of a black woman, take it to court, and get you thrown out. This is the threat on a no-fault eviction. And when I showed that to Boston Housing Authority, they said they can't do that. But getting back to this letter, and they said we can ask for, and they wanted her to do a no liability clause on them. See, they got the LLC. Sometimes they don't have to be held liable for liable things. Oh, they got this shit down pat. Oh, and plus they paid 70% of Massachusetts' budget. So that's why they're letting them get away with what they want to get away with. 70% is a large percentage. So she's been trained by Epstein's mentor very, very well on how to rob Peter to pay Paul. And not only that, last year, HUD and the fair housing people has looked through and found enough evidence to substantiate that they are housing discrimination. They told them, look, just because a black person might have 1 or 2 houses, or maybe 1 or 2 cars, you cannot stop them and stunt their growth because you want to even the playing field. You want brown people to catch up. So you're denying black people everything. That's why they took all of our stores away. And man, they're doing a job on us here, white people. And they're robbing you all blind as well. Anyway, the last tip of that letter was, y'all gonna laugh at this one, because I'm recording on my YouTube. They want me to cease and stop recording on my YouTube. Why? Because I'm catching you in a lie. Therefore, they're saying that they're so bold. Now, here we go back to the judge. And they're saying in the letter that it would be going against their best advice to me is that if I get thrown out of here, I'll have a problem getting back in the housing, because if you have an eviction, that's a threat. That's intimidation. That's a warning. And that's saying, I got the power to do this. And if you don't stop posting videos, so the fire was a reason for them to... Please share this. Because this needs to stop. You cannot hate people that much that you would cause them mental and physical injury, and it's medically documented that they did it. They fired Peabody Properties for the racial discrimination, but MCAD didn't give me the appeal, and they closed the case. And I asked the governor, and I told her about it. They wouldn't even give me an appeal. They're breaking Massachusetts state laws by... It's money. It's money, y'all. And they're milking the United States of the government, and they should restrict them from building any more buildings, especially in Massachusetts. And if it's happening in your state, let's fight against them giving these people these government contracts, because anytime you work with the federal government, you have to treat everybody the same, and they're violating that. So I want y'all to rally with me and boycott Peabody Properties and the community builders. Now, he took this letter and circulated it around the courts. I gave it to the mayor's office, but when I went back there again, she sent me to the attorney general's office. She said that letter is already circulating around the courts. So either whoever, and I don't know this, whoever they're paying, that judge, the thing from the mayor's office is that they're telling the courthouse to stop me from recording because I'm ruining their business. No, he's ruining his own business. Then everything, and they go to court, they want to blame it on me. Black people ain't got no chance at all. Come on, y'all. If you got a heart, we did it to Walmart, we did it to Target, and we're going to let them know you can't keep doing this and not be accountable for it. All of these, now, how you going to take me to court? Now, this is the best part. For stuff that was paid and had zero balance with you, but you're going to claim the court costs, and now something new that was already satisfied. I said, well, I just had a recent lockout and this. So I haven't paid it yet. This just happened. They didn't tell me they could take it out my my security deposit. So this is how they're using the system again to get me in court in what, less than a week? Because you got to pay money out for faulty equipment. So now I can't do this, y'all. I need your help. They need enough attention to know that they are discriminating against housing, and the federal government, and that's why they have Boston Housing and Metro Housing in there, to see that everybody gets treated fairly. So I got to go back down to a housing department, which has me on a super priority move because this place is not healthy for me mentally and physically. I got all the grounds, but there's no lawyers here, no NAACP. They removed everything to keep you from going to court. And hell, if the police department detective could make out their own charge, and the commissioner said that he did an exceptional job. So therefore, the internal affairs and the police commissioners are not holding the police accountable and for falsifying a police report and a kidnapping, because they intercepted my call to my doctor. I gotta lay down, y'all. Y'all got the police accountability. It's on my YouTube. I can't keep going into this stuff. I'm trying to remain calm, stay in prayer, and believing God has got this all taken care of. But I just want y'all to be aware. If the number of people that this has happened to, if you can find one of my posts, Justice for Beverly McCall, please add a name to it. Because this could be happening at your state, or you might have already fell a victim to this. The more victims' names that's come up, see, I had the means and the things and the energy, because see, I came from out of state. And I had left Massachusetts for a while, but when I came back here, I was like, God damn, they that racist up here? I should have stayed in Florida. They're much nicer down there than this shit. And at least if it is down there, they more upfront. They don't hide shit. They'll tell you in a minute. But see, Massachusetts is the undercover stuff. The smile and then when you're gone, they do the underhanded shit. How do you get a court date in less than a week? It doesn't happen like that. Unless you a judge or y'all got something. Because why would a judge not honor her own court orders and be lenient with them? And then when we're leaving, she calls them to the bench. She says, come here. Something, sound like something, look like something. So I don't know. But yeah, a big boycott. Solidarity, and we need to stand in support of each other, because it looks like YT people and us, we're going to need each other. Because we're here for the long duration. Trump is going after everybody, not just us anymore. Well, he can't go with us. We're the Aborigines and the indigenous people. I'm Cherokee Indian, and I'm Blackfoot Indian. I can't go nowhere. I'm already home. Shit, where the fuck am I going to go? Anyway, and we're Israelites, so. But everybody else, they're now targeting everybody else other than the brown people. This has got to stop. So we can't be fighting. I'm going to sit up. We can't be fighting each other anymore. It's the government. And these governors and mayors. See, Mayor Wu got in by default. We don't want her, and they damn sure look like the governor Haley is going to be out of, she's going to lose her election. But what I want to say to them, Michelle Wu and Governor and Elizabeth Warren and you people that are allowing them to do this and manipulate the courts, is it worth it? That little extra money? I can't say that you're getting it, but according to Mike Urban, he made a post that because when they did an audit, they were able to get something. They found $6 million in payment money, hush-hush money. But Massachusetts has been fighting HUD and fighting the fair housing because they said, we want to do an audit. The governor, the mayor, the legislator, Elizabeth Warren, they're blocking them from doing an audit. No, they said we got to write the privacy law, and we don't have to tell the federal government the money that they're sending them to help Americans is going to the sanctuary people because the governor's making their own sanctuary motels. Now, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there's a lot of government official elected people that are letting a lot of scams go through. Look what happened in Minnesota. See, he wasn't doing his job either. And we got a lot of false daycares here too. Same as Minnesota. But Massachusetts won't let the media talk about it. So this is our only platform to get this out here so that you all can share it. So that when y'all share it, it brings Washington in on this. Because now it's not being hush-hush and locally detained on the severe racism that's going on in Massachusetts. It's not just hurting us, but it's hurting the middle class as well because all of this is coming out of their pocket, the taxes that they pay. It's a mess, y'all. But thank you for letting me share. Please put down the next big thing to boycott is racist housing developers that are getting government permission to build on property, providing they allow so many units per state, because this is the unit I'm in is the Boston housing unit. That's part of the agreement, but they're not following the law. So therefore, their contract should be revoked. Donald Trump revoked the contract. And everybody, please ask the government to do an investigation on this housing discrimination here. And until they find out everything, don't let them build anymore. All right, thank y'all. Please, I'm really depending on y'all to come together and step up and stop this. It's not just me, it's all these other families that abandon their apartments. Because once you abandon an apartment, they rather run than get the eviction. But they got the court sold up. That's why they need to open up all of these. But we need to let these people know this is America. There's rules here in America that you cannot discriminate. Hey, white people, they can do what you can't do. Ain't that a bitch? Oh my God. All right, y'all. I'm going to share this. That's why I recorded it. Thank you for listening. And Peabody Properties and the community builders, we need to stop their building these buildings. And then they need to take away their rights to withhold the properties because they're in violation of the agreement. All right, thank you all.